South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace is speaking out after a report from New York Magazine that says some of her staffers are concerned about her well-being. The article outlines a string of setbacks Mace has had to deal with as she attempts to become South Carolina's next governor.
The most notable was last year when police say she went on a profanity-laced tirade against security at the Charleston airport. The report does say that the incident greatly hurt her chances of winning the gubernatorial race. Quote, Airport Gate has since become a major news saga in South Carolina, hurting her standing in the Republican gubernatorial primary. In the polling since October, Mace's support has been cut nearly in half, and she slipped from nearly tied for the lead down to third or fourth place. There's also the matter of her lack of support from President Trump, with the report saying her chances of being endorsed for governor by Trump are nearly zero.
Sources close to Mace believe that her vote for a discharge petition to release the Epstein files is likely to blame for her not getting a Trump endorsement. The article reads, Trump advisors conveyed to her that she could still advocate for victims through her role on the House Oversight Committee, and there were enough Republican votes for the discharge petition to pass anyway. But it didn't matter. Instead of using her leverage, Mace was sticking to her position.
On top of that, the article also goes into accusations of misconduct from Mace in dealing with her staffers. Some of her aides allege that Mace abused her office by giving them orders to bring alcohol to her house parties and clean properties she rented out on Airbnb. One of her former aides even accused the congresswoman of having them promote her on Reddit forums talking about the most attractive women in Congress in an attempt to boost her standings in those rankings, I take it.
Mace was aware that this report from New York Magazine was going to be released, and she got her response out ahead of time, brushing off the article as a, quote, hit piece. Here's some more of her response posted on X.
The whole thing is just sort of silly, but that's what the establishment does when you don't conform or follow their rules. And if I have enemies, good, get in line. It means I've done something. It means I've stood for something. My values and my principles, and because I listen to you, the people. I don't listen to anybody else. I've never been a good old boy. I never will be. And doing the same thing we've always done is what got us into this mess.
Is the music on Nancy Mace's video? Or did we? Oh, it is.
I don't think we added it.
I would hope we didn't, but
pretty sure.
It seems very dramatic.
We did not add it, Control Room says. Ah, Nancy
We've discussed Nancy a good few times.
We have, and look, I certainly do not dismiss out of hand the idea that this could be some kind of hit job, and when I have some contempt for what has become a more normal journalistic practice to rely on anonymous sources to gripe about their workplace environment, in Congress, in media, in whatever. Surprise, surprise, you go out to drinks with somebody and you get them to talk about their job. You can generally get them to complain about it, and then you can put that in an article to make it seem like things are bad. You know, we used to, as journalists, reserve anonymity for sensitive national security topics where the person's life might be in danger, not just their job. So I do honestly approach this with some skepticism. I had skepticism about Fetterman's office place reporting and other things. I was skeptical of the Amy Klobuchar back in the day when they're like, oh, she's so
abusive for the salad.
Staff. Okay,
Yeah.
well, everyone complains about their bosses. But the framing of this is staffers worried for Nancy Mace's mental health. I am also worried for her mental well-being, so I will not dismiss these complaints out of hand.
Right.
Because without knowing anything specifically about her and just processing what I see of her media appearances and her social media behavior over the course of the last few years, it does seem troubled to me.
Yeah, I mean, look.
To say it nicely.
This is, it's a tricky thing. Certainly in and around Washington, D.C., the view that you have just articulated, that there is something a bit troubled about Nancy Mace's behavior, is an opinion that is, I think, quite broadly held and certainly not held along strictly partisan lines at all. Now, she would obviously adamantly deny that, as she has every right to do, and has every right to push back against this report as a hit job. People can, I think, simply make their own judgments about her behavior. I do take your point about anonymous sources, and we all, I think, get drawn into that. But, you know, now it has become a source granted anonymity to talk freely, and it's like, well, that's just anybody then. It's a caveat with no meaning. But look, I mean, things like the suggestion that she's like calling people in the early hours of the morning to bring her booze and all that. If that's true, is it disqualifying? I don't think it is. I mean, it's not very professional behavior. Is it disqualifying? I don't know.
I mean, it's a fun work environment can be a good thing. And bringing booze to the house, I don't have any problem with that. You know, making them clean the Airbnb property is not good. And then her behavior at that airport was indeed completely appalling. You know, she's done the whole pajama trip. What first made me go, this is bizarre. What she accused her ex-boyfriend or fiance of, and did it in Congress so that she has
legal protections.
That made me go, that's not normal. Like she's personalizing everything very much.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want this to sound like I'm saying, oh, the hysterical woman. This sound very antiquated of us, but not all of these concerns are from political enemies. I will just say that. It is from people who otherwise... And you know, if she's estranged from Trump because of the Epstein vote, because she voted for disclosure, she voted her conscience, she voted something she believed in, and didn't cave on that, that is to her credit.
Right.
That is not a knock on her at all. I don't... Some of her political stances I like perfectly fine. I think she's... I frankly think she was a more interesting political figure a few years ago. Where now she's become, and again, it's just the social media behavior is so and this is not just her. So many of it, so based and very, very faux tough. Again, it's in that what I was talking about a moment ago, where Congress people want to be right-wing content creators rather than serious legislators.
No, they do. I mean, first of all, I do agree with you very much on the Epstein vote. That was one of her finer recent moments, in my view, because she and several other Republican members stood up to significant pressure from the Trump White House to vote in that way. So, like, credit where it's due in that regard. The social media behavior, even by the standards of 2026, seems to me very overtly intended simply to grab attention, and to an extreme level. I mean, it's well beyond what has become the default for members of Congress. So that stuff I think is just a bit.
I have not looked at the governor's race closely enough to know who else is in the mix or what is likely to come of this, but it seems very bad for her at the moment. Now, she's the most, by far, the best known person, and maybe that counts for a lot.
Yeah, but I wonder, you mentioned the airport incident, and I wonder, because of the local home state nature of that, does that kind of have a bearing? And also, is there a question that because she has become such a social media figure, do South Carolinians then think, well, it's all about that sort of national profile rather than being the executive in charge of the state? We shall see. We shall see how it goes. And in the meantime, I hope that if there's a Reddit poll on, I don't know, most attractive,
host of Rising,
we'll be standing over the production staff and insisting that they vote for one or other of us.
We'll be watching them vote.
We will. We'll be watching closely how the upvotes go on that one.
All right. Well, the First Lady's documentary, Melania, hit theaters this weekend and was quite the success at the box office. Speaking of very attractive women in politics, more on that right after this.